Welcome to Yoga for Everyone, presented by Emily Martin. Have a great class.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. So for today's practice, we're going to be lying down to start. It's going to be a really gentle practice, and we're going to have a nice, long, relaxing meditation at the end of today's class too, so you can look forward to that. But for the start, go ahead and find a comfortable position. Lying down, if flat on your back is not something that's comfortable for you, I would just recommend keeping a bend in your knees. The rest of your body can lay flat. You could have the knees knocking towards each other for constructive rest. But just find any position that's suitable for you to rest in for a couple of minutes. Go ahead and close your eyes if they're not already closed. And just let yourself start to settle into that position. Just noticing all the areas where your body is connecting to a surface around you. And encouraging your body to just relax into that support. And while you're lying there, as you get more settled, start to tune your awareness into the more subtle. You can even bring a hand onto your belly or onto your chest, just so you can be more aware of your own breath. Just begin to observe the movement of your breath within your own body. In yoga, we sometimes refer to the breath as prana, and that translates to mean energy. So your energy is in your breath. I'm sorry about that. Your energy is always in your breath. Whenever you get distracted, your breath is a reminder to come back to this moment, to this present time. And so stay there a little longer, and while you're resting, I'm going to share a little reading with you all this morning. So just open your ears, open your hearts to listen. So the reading I chose today is called Purpose Beyond Perfection. So I feel their eyes on me, all with their own opinions of how I should be. There is always something I should change. How do I keep my heart open? I must stay focused in my lane. Stick to your vision, to what makes your heart soar. If you try to please everyone, you will never grow to be more. We don't need more perfect people, sculpted by an idea that is unreachable. Be yourself and stay in your lane. If your work is true, it will see you through fear and pain. Let them see you how they please. They will praise you or judge you. Expectations impossible to meet. This was never between you and them. Follow your heart, and you will uncover the greatest gems. So many gifts hidden inside of you. The universe wants you to discover them, to know you are courageous and true. And when you find them, give these gifts to the world. Share with your whole heart. Whether they receive it as a rock or a pearl. This has always been between you and the universe. Maintain your integrity, and you will be immersed in the greatest love you have ever known. one that comes from inside with an unshakable purpose that shows you why you are alive. So I hope you enjoyed that little reminder. We don't have to be perfect, we just need to be ourselves. So just take those words in for a few moments and we'll get ready to transition into a few movements. I'm just going to turn on the do not disturb really quick. Alrighty. So if you don't already have your legs bent, go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the floor here. Arms can stay down by your sides, palms are face down. Have your knees stacked over your ankles. We're going to begin just with some gentle bridge movement to warm up. Before we go right into the movement itself though, I want to go over just a few little cues that will help you feel more stable. So first of all, notice if your shoulders are lifted away from the mat at all. If they are, press the shoulders back and down into the mat. Feel how this broadens across your chest, allowing that area to open. Additionally, lift your chin away from your chest slightly. Feel how that opens your airway through your neck. And finally, engage your core. Press your belly button in towards your spine. The lower back might press down towards the mat. And then press and lift your hips up towards the ceiling on your inhale. Go up to whatever height is suitable for you right now. You don't have to go all the way up to your maximal ability level. Subtly squeeze the thighs towards each other. Notice how that's also going to help you support through the lower back area. Take a couple more breaths here. Very nice. On your next exhale, allow your hips to lower completely back down to the mat. Just rest for a moment. We're going to go back up again. So again, check back in, press the shoulders down, lift the chin, engage your core, and press and lift your hips up. Hold there, maybe go up just a little bit higher than you did last time, just gradually building up the intensity. All right, and then exhale, go ahead and let the hips come all the way back down. All right, this time, we're gonna lift up again, but we're gonna start incorporating the arms into our movement. So press the shoulders down, inhale, hips press up. This time we're not gonna hold, so as you exhale, let your hips return down to the mat, but the arms are gonna reach up above you, alongside your ears. Great, and then next, inhale, press the hips back up, let your arms lower back down by your sides. And continue with that same movement. Exhale, hips lower down, arms lift up. Inhale, hips press up and arms release down by the sides. And do just a few more moving and tuning into your own body. And trying your best just to time that movement with your breath. So you're keeping it mindful. Okay, lovely job. Next time you lower the hips down, you can leave them down and then bring the arms back down by the sides as well. Okay, from here, we're gonna pull our right knee in by itself. You can reach up with your hands. Left leg can stay bent or you can stretch it out. We're gonna hold this knee in towards the chest for a few moments. Just take a couple breaths. And then we're gonna go ahead and start circling that leg around in the hip socket, just loosening up that area. You're more than welcome to release the hands and circle the leg on its own if you prefer that. And if you're circling, go ahead and switch your direction, go the opposite way. And knee works its way back to center. And from here, we're going to reach our hands under the thigh this time and release them. Inhale, work on starting to straighten your leg up. As you exhale, we're going to bring a bend back to the knee, the leg can lower. And continue going up and down with your breath a few more rounds. Inhale up. Exhale down. A few more times, feeling what you're noticing. What sensations do you feel as you're moving? Whatever you can do to tune in to this moment, your practice, use it. And from here, you can go ahead and hold the leg up. I apologize. There's an alarm on my phone that doesn't want to go off. I'm so sorry about that. So keep that leg elevated up above you this time. And you have a couple of options here. You could do some circles with your foot up above you like this. Or my favorite is to do an alternate flexing and pointing of the toes. So you could inhale, point the toes, really stretch the leg out to its full length. You'll probably feel a little sensation around the front of the shin here as well. And then the opposite of that is bringing just a subtle bend to the knee, flexing the foot down towards you. And just going back and forth. Inhale, toes can point. Exhale, little bend to the knee, flex the foot. And if you don't like this, just circle the foot instead, or you can hold it still completely. And your next exhale, we're going to go ahead and release the hands from behind the leg, bringing the leg all the way back down to the mat. Stretch it out so it's lengthened if you can, and give that leg a little shake from side to side. Just shake it out, wiggle it out. And then just take a moment, maybe 10 seconds or so, just to notice, what does my right leg feel like? And then what does my left leg feel like? Notice the leg that you've given some attention and movement to, and the side that you haven't yet. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So you may pull left knee in, reach around, hold it in towards the chest. Just take 2 or 3 breaths here. And if you start to feel any pressure come into your lower back area, please feel free to bend the opposite leg. It's going to take some of that pressure off right away when you do that. And so from here, we'll start with some little circles around again. And you don't have to hold on. If you like the little pressure of having the hands on the leg, you can, but you're welcome to just be a little bit more creative, whatever size circle you want to make. Now you have freedom in the class to make it your own. You never have to do exactly what I'm saying. I'll try to give you some alignment cues, but you can use your own judgment. All right, go ahead and switch the direction of that circle. And you know your body better than most people. You've lived in it your whole life. So, do what feels good to you. Ask yourself what you need. And bringing that knee back into the middle again, we'll go ahead and reach the hands underneath the thigh, interlace the fingers, And then we'll work on the hamstring. So inhale, beginning to straighten and lift that leg. Exhale, go ahead and bend the knee, draw it back down. And inhale, straighten up. And exhale to bend. All right, continue just a few more times on your own. Just noticing, feeling the sensations as they arise. And it's okay if you get stuck off on a train of thought sometimes, but when you notice that you're in the middle of a train of thought, bring yourself back to what you're doing. Without judgment, just patiently bringing yourself back. Next time that you have the leg lifted up again, hold it there. Again, you have those options. You can circle your foot if you like that. You can do the back and forth, the flexion of the foot. I sometimes call that nerve gliding because it's supposed to help with nerve pain through the lower body and the legs. That's kind of why the practice was designed, but it helps with many things, not just nerve pain. And so from here, on your next exhalation, you can go ahead and lower that leg all the way down, release it to the mat. When it gets back down to the floor, same thing that you did on the other side. Give it a shake, nice little shake. Release anything you're holding on to, let it go. And just let it rest for a moment. Check in. See if the legs feel any different now, just with giving them a little attention and love for the last 10 minutes or so. And after you've had a little bit of time to observe, you can go ahead and pull the knees back in towards the chest again. This time we're going to spread the arms out nice and wide, making a T shape with our body. And we're going to move through a few different types of twist. So pay attention because there'll be a few types and they're all a little different than each other. So on this one, as you exhale, you're going to let your knees start to lower down towards the floor. Doesn't matter which side you want to go down to first, but don't let them go all the way down. Keep them lifted just slightly. We're going to use our core muscles. Next inhale, we're going to pull the knees back to center. And as you exhale, let the knees start to lower down towards the opposite side. Again, just hovering over the floor. And then inhale, knees come back up. And exhale, knees go back down to the opposite side. Okay, continue going back and forth just like that for a few more times. Just get into a rhythm and a flow. You don't have to move too quickly, just move with your own pace of breath. And just a couple more back and forth. Okay, so next time that you bring your knees to center, we're going to change up the twist just a little bit. So pay attention here. And I would say just look at this, look at what I'm doing. It's a little hard to explain through words, to be honest. So this time you're going to let the knees drop over to one side and focus your pull on bringing the knees up towards the arm slightly. So kind of draw the knees towards the chest. And then swing the legs out so they're not going to pull them directly up towards your chest. So you're swinging them out like so. And then you're drawing them up towards the arm and the chest on the opposite side. And then you'll swing the legs back over and then draw them back up towards the arm. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So bring them across, draw them up, and switch. Okay, go ahead and go back and forth a few more times. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to make sure that this crazy alarm doesn't go off again. I really apologize for that. I'm going to make sure I turn it off. So just swish back and forth a couple more times. And so next time that your knees swing over to one side, we're going to do one final twist. So bring them back to center. So this one is called a somatic twist, and it's really important to get the movement, I won't say exact, but just to try to follow the directions the very best you can. So your head and neck are going to be involved in this as well. So you're going to lower your knees. I'm going to give you right side just to keep things clear. So lower the knees down to the right this time. Your knees can come all the way down so they can touch the floor for this one. But the key is to turn your right palm to face down on this side. And additionally, you want to turn your head to look over towards the open left hand. Hold there for a breath. And then on your next inhale, you're going to bring the knees back to center again. And then as you exhale, knees go down to the left. Make sure that you turn the left hand to face down. Turn your head to look over the right arm, and the right hand turns back to face up. Hold there for a breath. And we'll switch. So I'll do it with you one more time, just in case that was confusing at all. So inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, knees come down to the right. Right palm turns down. Head turns to look over to the left. Left hand is facing up again. Okay, keep going back and forth. So inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, knees down to the left. Remember to turn the head. Whatever side your knees are down on, the palm is face down. Just keep that in mind. Okay, go back and forth about 5 or 6 more times. So twist, just to give you a little information, are not only good for your spine and your physical bone structure, but they're also really, really nice for digestion. So if you ever have any trouble with digestive issues, you could always try some of these gentle yoga twists. See if they will help you at all. There's no quick fix necessarily, but they may aid in relieving some pressure from that area. Okay, last time. Next time your knees are back to center, pause there, reach your hands up to cup the knees or the shins, and just give yourself a little massage. Just roll the knees around in a nice circle. Then go ahead and switch the circle, go around the opposite way a few times. Lovely work. You can stop circling now. And from here, we are going to roll over onto one side. Again, it doesn't matter which side, whatever one you want to start on. So go ahead and roll over. And I suggest either having your blanket if you have one, or a pillow, or I personally, when I lie on the side, is I prop my head up on my hand and just have my elbow bent, just to give my head a little elevation. But if you'd rather have the head flat, and that's comfortable for you, go for it. So we've been working on loosening up the hips, the lower back, but it's also very important to strengthen those areas and bring stability to them. So we're going to do a little strengthening for the hips, and then we'll end with our meditation. So we'll do this on both sides. So we're going to do what's called clams. You want to have your knees stacked directly on top of each other. Your feet stay together. But as you inhale, you're going to start to lift this top leg up. Doesn't matter how high you can go, just lift to your own ability level. The key is that as you start to lower that leg down, you do it slowly and you control the movement down so that you're getting both. As you lift, you're strengthening the outside part of that hip. And even as you lower, you're maintaining that contraction and that control. So you're really probably going to start to feel this gluteus medius. This muscle here in the side of your hip kind of goes back to the glute as well. You'll feel that activate after you do this for a little while. And I always like to tell my students, especially as we get older, this is a really important muscle to strengthen because it helps so much with balance and stability. So I would definitely recommend doing these movements throughout, your exercise or movement routine. Okay, so I'll just do a couple more. I know you might be getting tired. If you ever want to really add some weight here, you could put a resistance band or have a sandbag here if you want to strengthen even more. All right, so next time that you lower the knee down, just rest for a moment. And we're going to be gradually increasing the intensity level of this. So for the next movement, you want to go ahead and straighten your legs out. So they're going to be slightly angled in front of you. You're going to flex your top foot, so pull the toes in towards you. And then as you inhale, you're going to begin to gradually lift that top leg up. Again, it's up to you how high you want to go. And then as you exhale, same thing as before. You're controlling the movement all the way down. Continue. I don't care how many you're doing. What I care more about, and what I hope you care about, is your awareness as you're moving. You're not doing the movement just for the heck of it. You're doing it and you're paying attention to it. You're noticing. You have your awareness there. A few more times. If you ever get tired and you need a break, of course you can take one. There's nobody that's going to judge you. And last time. And so next time that you lower the leg, again, give it just a little time to rest. Just take a couple of breaths. We have one more movement we are going to do on this side. This is the hardest thus far, so just be mindful, be prepared. So this time, you're going to flex your top foot, and you're going to lift the leg so it hovers over the bottom leg, just I would say about a foot in height. This time, you're going to start to circle that top leg around. Try not to do your circles too fast. Control the movement. Sometimes when something's hard, we tend to go faster, but actually take your time with it. I know going slower sometimes seems to make it harder, but just take your time. And once you've gone around a few times in one direction, we're going to switch. So go the opposite way. And take a break if you need to. This is not an easy movement. That hip and glute med are really working here. Good job, everybody. You may go ahead and release that leg all the way down. Breathe it out. I'm in a little pointer. This is optional. You don't have to do this. But if you think you're going to be sore there, and you know you get sore after you work a new muscle group, take the base of your hand, kind of right where your wrist and your palm come together, and tap into that area. It doesn't have to be too hard, just a gentle touch. And that's going to help bring some blood flow to that area. So it won't be quite as sore, quite as tender. And you might feel like you look kind of silly tapping on your hip, but it'll feel much better tomorrow, I promise. So after you've worked on that for like 30 seconds or somewhere around there, we're going to go ahead and come back onto our backs just for a moment because we want to check back in and see if we notice any differences again. So we'll roll back over onto your back. You can stretch your legs back out long if you're comfortable with that. And just notice. You may not notice any differences at all. You don't have to. This is just for your own awareness practice. Just checking in with yourself. A lot of us have a tendency to rush right into the next thing. I know I'm guilty of that. But taking time to pause in between and reflect is very, very important. Lovely job, everyone. We're going to go ahead and roll on over to the opposite side now. So get yourself comfortable again. We'll repeat those movements. So make sure you've got your head and neck supported. That's really important. You don't want to be worried about the head and neck while we're working on the lower body. So starting off with our clamshells again on this side. So inhale, go ahead and lift that top knee up. Go whatever height you can do. And exhale, knee comes down. And inhale, knee comes up. And exhale, knee comes down. And allow yourself to notice if you find that one side is any harder than the other side. That's usually an indicator that you just might need to work on that side a little more. You may have some weakness in that hip or that side of the lower back. One of the most common things I see with my clients is SI joint pain. So if you're not familiar, that's in the lower back area. And if you have one-sided pain, so on one side of your back, a lot of times it's related to the SI joint, not always. And so one more time. And so next time that you bring the hips together, the knees together, just rest again, breathe. And we'll start to extend the legs out in front of us slightly. Flex that top foot, so pull the toes in, and then inhale, begin to lift the leg, bring it up. And exhale, control the movement back down. Okay, continue at your own pace. But I'm continuing with that SI joint just a little bit. So these exercises can help when you stabilize the hips and that area of the back. And that can help reduce lower back pain as well. Same thing, strengthening the core and that area can help with the back because your body's connected. You know, if one area is weak and isn't supporting the area it's supposed to, you can have some pain. So we have to find those connections, and that's why building awareness during our yoga practice is so important because it can teach you different things about your own body that you may not have been aware of before. Okay, next time that you lower the leg, you can go ahead, take a brief rest, just breathe. We'll finish off with those leg circles in just a moment. And so when you're ready, no rush, you can go ahead and flex the top foot. Inhale, lifting the leg just slightly away from the bottom and beginning to circle around. Keep the movement controlled. Great work, everyone. Go ahead. You may switch the direction, go the opposite way with that leg. Very nice, everyone. Lower your leg down, let it rest. Whew, you're done. And if you wanted to do that same tapping motion on this side, I definitely recommend it. Just take a little while to get the blood flow. Just give yourself a little love, little self-care. And then from here, you can roll back over onto your back again. Got a couple more releasing, relaxing stretches. And the last 20 minutes of our practice will be all for meditation. So coming back to your back, feet can be on the floor, knees can be lifted up. Okay, so from here, we're going to do what's called figure 4. And this is a nice stretch for your piriformis, a muscle that runs through the back of your glute. So let's lift your right foot up, cross your right ankle above your left knee, and make sure you also flex that right foot. If you don't already feel a pretty significant stretch through the back of that right hip and glute, you may want to lift your left foot up as well. See if you can reach your hands under the thigh. Interlace your fingers there. The closer that you're pulling that left knee in towards the chest, the deeper the stretch is going to become for the back of that hip and glute. So we'll hold for a few rounds of breath. Try your best not to tense your shoulders, let them stay relaxed. And just breathe. Relax into the stretch. From here, we're just going to do a very subtle change. So you can release the hands from the back of the thigh, let that left foot come down. We're going to keep the right leg up, but you want to transition to bring that right thigh to cross over the left thigh. So they're kind of hugging towards each other. You may already feel a stretch to the outside of that right hip. This is called your IT band. But if you don't, there are ways to increase. So you can lift both feet, pull the knees back in towards the chest, reach the hands around to that front knee, pulling them in closer towards the chest. And we'll hold here, relax, and breathe. Your next exhale, you may release the hands, release the legs. Go ahead and uncross them. Before we do the other side, I recommend just doing what I call some windshield wipers, just switching your knees back and forth from right to left a few times. And you may bring the knees back to center and we'll switch. So left foot will lift, cross the ankle above the right knee. Make sure you flex the foot. Maybe stay here, or possibly lifting the right foot, reaching underneath that thigh, pulling it in closer. And just relax and breathe. Your next exhale, you can release the right foot back down to the mat. Transition to bring your left thigh across to your right. You may find this is enough of a stretch for you. Or, again, pull the knees back in, wrap the hands around. Hold in here. Your next exhale, releasing the legs, releasing the arms. And cross, maybe do just a couple more windshield wipers if you wish. The last stretch we're going to do today before our meditation is our happy baby stretch, one of my favorites. So you can pull both knees back in again. You could bring the hands behind the thighs and extend just the lower legs up towards the ceiling. But if you feel like you can reach a little higher, you could even try reaching up through the ankles, the arches, the big toes, or even the outside edges of the feet, depending on how far your reach can go. The wider you pull the knees and the further down you keep the knees, the deeper the stretch will be. I also recommend just rocking back and forth a little bit here. Just, again, massaging the lower back area. And from here, when you feel that you've had enough of a stretch, you can release the hands, let the legs come down. And I'll give you guys just a minute or so now to get set up for your meditation practice. So for this particular meditation, I really recommend lying flat. So having the arms just slightly separate from the body, having the legs extended, at least to begin. You can always bring the bend back to the knees later. If you feel like this is too much pressure, you could bring your blanket or a pillow underneath the bend in your knees for more support. You'll also probably want to just cover up with a blanket, or just make sure you've got socks or something that's warm enough on your physical body. You could turn your lights down if you're in a bright room. Just adjust your environment so it's as soothing and relaxing as possible. But take just a little while to get yourself set up. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to get myself set up to guide us for our Yoga Nidra practice. So this practice is translated to mean yogic sleep. But with that being said, try your best not to actually fall asleep during the practice. It's totally fine if you do, just means you needed a little extra rest. But if you can stay aware throughout the practice, that's really, really good. So you can go ahead and close your eyes if they aren't already closed. We'll be going through a few different sections of this meditation. The first one will be a tense and release practice for your physical body, just to make sure any remaining tension can be released so your physical body will feel as good as it can. But at any point there's something you don't want to move in your body, you can just visualize the movement instead of actually doing it. So start to focus your awareness to your right leg. And then on your next inhale, lift your right leg away from the floor slightly. Flex your right foot, so pull the toes in towards the shin. Hold the leg there. And then next exhale, drop the leg back down to the floor. Give it a little shake. And then let it relax completely, wherever it feels best. Now bringing your awareness to your left leg. On your next inhale, lifting the leg, flexing the foot, let it hover in the air for a few moments. And then exhale, dropping the leg down. Give it a little shake. And then relax it wherever it's most comfortable. If you need to bring a bend to your knees at this time, that's fine. Awareness now travels up to both of your arms. So on your next inhale, lift both arms away from the floor or away from your body. Squeeze your hands, make tight fist. And exhale, release your hands, release the arms back down. Give them a little shake if you'd like. And let them relax. Awareness now moves to your hips and your glutes. So on your next inhale, squeezing your gluteal muscles, hold them tight. And exhale. Release those muscles completely. Awareness moves now to your belly. So this time, on your next inhale, take a really deep breath in and feel the belly expand like a balloon. Hold the breath at the very top when you feel like you can't breathe in anymore. And then exhale. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Awareness now transitions to the chest. Again, take a nice big inhale in. Feel your chest and your lungs expand. Breathe in as deeply as you can. And then exhale. Breathe out, let it go. Awareness now moves to your shoulders. We'll be doing a couple of different movements here. So on your next inhale, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Hold them there. And exhale. Drop your shoulders back down. Next, inhale, stay with your shoulders, but press your shoulders down and away from your ears. You can kind of reach down with your fingertips towards the legs. And then exhale, relax the shoulders. Let's stay with the shoulders a little bit longer. This time on your inhale, squeezing your shoulders together in front of your chest. And exhale, relax the shoulders. Last one. This time on your inhale, press your shoulders back behind you into the mat. Feel the chest open. And exhale. Relax the shoulders down. Now bring your awareness to your neck. On your next exhale, tilt one ear down towards one shoulder. Inhale, bring the head back up to center. Exhale, tilt the opposite ear down to the other shoulder. Inhale, head comes back to center. Awareness now moves to the mouth, the tongue, and the lips. Allow the tongue to move away from the roof of the mouth, resting gently. Allow the lips to part slightly so that the jaw may relax as well. Awareness now comes to the very end of your nose. On your next inhale, let your eyes and your lips squeeze towards the nose, making a really tight face. Hold that. And then exhale, relax your eyes, relax your lips. Just take a moment to notice your physical body, how it feels all the way from your head and face down to your legs and feet. If there are any additional adjustments that you might need to make, you are welcome to. We'll be transitioning now to just do a mental body scan. So there's no movement required of you. Just each time I name a body part, bring your thoughts to that place. Notice it, and then move on to the next area. This time we'll be working our way from the head down to the feet. Bringing your awareness to your forehead, to your eyes and your eyelids, awareness to your cheeks, lips, and tongue. Awareness to your jaw and your neck. Awareness to your shoulders, your arms, wrist, hands, and fingers. Awareness to the chest and the upper back. Awareness to the lower back and the belly. Awareness to your hips, your glutes, and your thighs. Awareness to your knees, calves, and ankles. Awareness to your feet and all of your toes. Awareness from head to toe. Notice your whole entire body, from top to bottom, side to side, back to front. Begin to notice the breath once again, feeling its subtle movement within your body, the rise and fall of the chest and belly. Just find your natural pace of breath, not needing to force or alter it in any way. Just stay with your natural breath for a few moments. you would like to try incorporating a breath technique, a simple one I would recommend is just using a number count. Inhaling for a count of 4. Exhale can vary from a count of 4 to 8. You could make it an even number, or if you want the exhale to be longer, it can be quite relaxing. So if you'd like to give that number count a try for a minute or two, just observe the thoughts. They're going to come in and out. It's natural, but you don't have to get caught up in them. You don't have to create a story about them. Just notice as they arise. Let them pass. Cultivating your awareness back on the breath as many times as you need. If your attention has wandered from the breath, just a subtle reminder to bring it back now. You may wish to just deepen your breath a little bit at this time. Remember, the breath is energy. We don't always use our full capacity, but deep breaths can really invigorate, reawaken, and refresh us. You may also wish to start bringing just a little bit of movement back to your physical body, just stretching out your arms or your legs, just like you're waking up first thing in the morning. You could stay on your back, or you might want to roll over onto a side of your choice. And before we end our practice, the last thing I'll ask is for you just to think of one thing today so far that you're grateful for. It could be a person, it could be a moment, anything at all. It could be small, it could be big. Gratitude is so, so powerful. When you've had a moment to think about your gratitude, if you'd like, you can start to transition back up to a seated position, and we'll get ready to close out our practice. So when you are back in your seat, again, there's no hurry. You can join your hands together in prayer at your heart center. We'll complete our practice with one deep breath. So inhale when you're ready, fill your lungs, fill your diaphragm. And exhale. Breathe out. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I hope this practice leaves you feeling refreshed, alive, and peaceful. The light in me honors the light in you.